Now get this, my metabolism was so broken that I was gaining weight eating 1,200 calories a day. And I was freezing, like wearing a sweater in the summer freezing. I'm Dr. Nina, psychologist, mom, someone who lost over 100 pounds in their 20s, and now 45 pounds postpartum in my 40s. I started this hormone balancing journey back in January of 2025, and I'm now about 10 to 15 pounds from my goal. Okay, can I get a round of applause? But when this first started, I couldn't even keep up with nothing. My toddler, nothing, especially without needing to sit down. And as a relatively healthy person, I knew something was wrong. That wasn't just slow metabolism. This was broken. My body had learned that food was scarce, so it was holding on to every single calorie like we were headed into winter, hibernation mode. So I spent 21 days fixing it using actual science and data, not just hoping it was working. And here's the wild part, my loves. I had to eat more food to fix it. Ain't that something? Today, I'm showing you exactly what I did week by week, backed by real numbers that was proven that my body was actually healing. And if you're sitting there right now feeling exhausted, freezing, stuck, all over the place with your hormones, wondering why nothing works anymore, this might be the most important 15 minutes you watch this year, or however many minutes. Hey editors, I want you to drop down in the comments and put my metabolism is broken or I'm working on it, especially if you can relate. And go ahead and smash that like button because what I'm about to show you is going to flip everything you know about weight loss over. And y'all, it seems like my videos are slightly suppressed, so make sure that you go ahead and smash that like button and comment. It's free of charge, and it also makes sure that you don't miss a thing from me. All right.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
Now, let me paint a picture for you of where I was in the past. Not where I am now after losing 45 pounds since January. I'm talking about when everything stopped working again because I had to restart this thing a couple times. One thing that was happening to me is I was waking up freezing, even though it was just 72 degrees in my house. My husband, Sean, would be walking around in a t-shirt like, you all right? You good? While I was wrapped up in a blanket making coffee. By 2 p.m., completely wiped. Counting down those minutes until I could lay down. Sometimes playing with my little hunter felt impossible. 5 minutes of chasing her and then I needed to sit down. And the scale, I told y'all I was eating like 1,200 calories at one point to break through, tracking everything and lose it, working out at least 5 days a week and nothing. Actually, I was slowly gaining weight. That first year postpartum, about 15 pounds. But here's what really got me. I started testing my blood sugar in the mornings and requesting it in my labs. And that was just to see what was happening. And my numbers were not good. Not at that time. My morning glucose at times was sitting in the mid-90s when it should be in the low 80s or below. And after eating, it would spike 40, 50, sometimes 60 points when a healthy response is only 20 to 30 points. I realized my body wasn't just slow. It was insulin resistant. My pancreas was working overtime pumping out insulin. And that was just to keep my blood sugar somewhat normal. And after that year of up and down with my calorie counts, my body was exhausted. My breaking point was really thinking about changing things once again. I had to think about my time with Hunter. I wanted it to be the most engaging. And yes, I'm over 40, but that does not stop anything, baby. Because clearly I've been able to do it. But at that time, I looked at my husband and I said, this isn't normal for me. Something is really off. That night, I designed a 21-day plan to fix it. Because we don't talk about it, we be about it. Not based on starvation or killing myself at the gym. Giving my body exactly what it needs to actually heal. I broke this plan into 3 phases over 21 days. Each one targeted a different piece of the metabolic puzzle. Phase 1, days 1 through 7. Give your body a break with eating. I had to eat in a way that made my body not freak out and hold on to fat. Phase 2, days 8 through 14. Support your hormones. Fixing the thyroid and stress hormones that control everything. Phase 3, days 15 through 21. Turn it back on, proving to my body that it can handle normal food again. The scary part for me though was that week 1 required me eating more. Nothing scarier. Got a little food trauma. After years and years of eating less to lose weight, that felt counterintuitive and completely backwards. But here's what I learned. It's not necessarily about how much you eat, especially if you're eating correctly. It's about how your body responds to what you're eating. Let me show y'all what happened. Okay, so phase 1, week 1. Week 1 was about giving my body a break from constantly producing insulin. I cut back on the carbs. I told y'all this before. And that's not because carbs are evil, but because my body was responding to them like they were evil. You got to see, like, I was eating a lot of carbs because I was just coming out of breastfeeding. And I really wanted to change that and alter those things so that my body could change. My blood sugar would spike massively even after eating healthier carbs. So the first week I kept the carbs really low and I focused on the whole foods that don't spike my insulin. So some of the things I actually ate. Now, you got to remember, I did skip breakfast most time because I was getting back into intermittent fasting. So sometimes I would eat eggs scrambled with a little bit of butter, some turkey bacon, and some black coffee. Lunch was usually a burger patty patty, turkey tenderloin, chicken breast, even some salmon with a salad or cucumbers and olive oil or mixed vegetables. Dinner was usually salmon with things like roasted Brussels sprouts, mixed vegetables, some type of roughage, and a little bit of cooking spray or a little bit of butter, not much. And for my snacks, I would have a little bit of olives or nuts, or maybe just a tiny bit of peanut butter or nut butter. And that was only if I was actually hungry. And usually protein shakes in between, because I was really beefing up my protein to over 140 grams a day. So if I had a shake, it was low glycemic, like my Dimetized Protein or my Oikos Pro. But I stayed away from things like sugary fruits, toast, things like that. The things that I thought were healthy were making things worse for my body. That's not everybody's body. So days 1 through 2, the anxiety. Honestly, I was terrified. I kept thinking to myself, this is way too much food. I was also thinking this has too much fat, or actually I'm gonna gain all the way back. But then sometimes I would test my blood sugar after meals just to see what was happening. And it barely moved. Like 10 to 15 points increases instead of 50. My body was finally getting a break, baby, and I was ready to burn some fat. Of course, we'll continue going, okay? Days 3 to 4, the rough patch. And I mean rough. Days 3 and 4 were rough. Brain fog, tired, grumpy, irritable. Asked my husband. Sean asked me if I was okay, and I was like, do I look okay? But this is your body switching fuel sources, going from burning sugar to burning fat. It takes a few days and it ain't fun. It's like withdrawal, but I pushed on through because that's what we do. Bars. Days 5 through 7, that's when the shift came. Day 5, I woke up, I tested my glucose and it was 84. I tested again, 83. For the first time in months from that past year, my morning number was in a more than healthy range. I actually got emotional, okay? And I don't do that much. And my energy starting to come back. And I was able to play longer with my little Hunter and get active with my family. Not 5 minutes, at least 15. By day 7, my body temperature had gone from freezing to just normal. I wasn't wearing a sweater inside the house anymore, walking around with a hoodie. But I knew I needed to see what else was happening on the inside, because blood sugar, y'all, is just one piece of the puzzle. Now going into week 2, I had a choice. Keep going based on how I felt, or actually see again what was happening with my thyroid, my stress hormones, my inflammation, all the things that control metabolism. And that's where Function Health completely changed everything for me. And I want to thank them for bringing us today's video. Now here's why I chose Function, because I needed data. Not guesses. Function tests over 100 biomarkers. That's things like your complete thyroid panel, cortisol, insulin, inflammation markers, nutrient levels, everything that affects how your metabolism actually works. Your regular doctor might run 10 to 15 tests, and I have a thorough doctor. She'll run everything. Function actually tests over 100. They also offer MRIs and CT scans, and everything is tracked over time in one place. So you can actually see your health improving. And that's why the doctors like Dr. Mark Hyman are behind Function Health. These are folks who know their stuff. They don't put their names on just anything, like your girl. So during my reset, Function showed me what my glucose meter couldn't. Was my thyroid actually improving? Was my inflammation dropping? Was my body actually healing? And here's the thing, if you tried to get all these tests yourself, you'd pay over $10,000. Woo! And Function gives you everything for just $4.99 a year. That's $1.37 a day for comprehensive health data. Plus, you get doctor insights. That helps you to understand what your results actually mean. Not selling you supplements or pills, just helping you to own your health. Lab visits are fast, like over 2,000 locations. And I was in and out in 20 minutes. So I want to thank Function for sponsoring today's video. So I want you to visit the link down below in my description box and use code DrNina100. The first 1,000 people get $100 off. Now, let me show y'all what week 2 looked like. Week 2 was about supporting the hormones that run the show. Thyroid and cortisol. I keep talking to y'all about this. My thyroid controls my metabolism. When it's sluggish, everything slows down. Body temperature drops. Energy crashes. Weight even piles on. But here's what most people don't know. Your thyroid needs specific nutrients to work. And if you've been dieting for years like me, you're probably deficient. Think about it. If you're not eating what you need to or eating as much as you need to, you're gonna miss the nutrients. So here's what I added. I like selenium. I really started with selenium, 200 mcg per day. Your thyroid literally cannot make hormones without selenium. Most people are deficient there. Get it checked. Zinc, 30 mg per day. Helps convert the thyroid hormone your body makes into the form that it can actually use. Iodine, 100 mcg from kelp, the building blocks of thyroid hormones. But I kept it low. Too much can backfire. And make sure that you're checking with your doctor on these levels. Magnesium glycinate, 400 mg before bed. It helps with sleep. stress, and over 300 processes in your body. That's game changing. And I know some people add evening primrose oil for balance. And I kept my vitamin D because I take it already. I definitely have been deficient there before, and it is a no-no. It's horrible for your body. But supplements alone do not fix a broken metabolism. You need to address your stress. That's key. Strategy number 1, sleep like your life depends on it. I try to make sleep a non-negotiable. I keep telling y'all this. Blue light blockers after 7 p.m., room temperature lower, phone on do not disturb at 9 p.m., no lie, and magnesium before bed. 1 week of consistent sleep and I felt like a whole new person, like I had levitated and elevated. My morning energy came back. I felt good. Strategy 2 is morning sunlight. We don't give this enough hype. Every morning, 10 to 15 minutes of natural light. This resets your cortisol rhythm, the hormone that controls your stress response and metabolism. It sounds too simple to work, but cortisol is supposed to be high in the morning. And also it should be low at night. Most of us have it backwards. Strategy number 3, stress management. I added 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing and also prayer and meditation daily, or just reading little cards that are motivational or something on my phone that gave me a break. Did it feel silly at first? Yes. Did it help though? Absolutely. So days 8 through 10, I was still adjusting. Week 2 felt like work, y'all. I wasn't seeing any dramatic changes yet, but I was trusting the process. My glucose was staying stable and my energy was slightly better. Also, the scale was coming down a little bit. Day 11 to 12, the warm hands moment. Day 12, I was loading the dishwasher and then I realized my hands are warm. Not cold, not freezing, warm. I ran to my husband, feel my hands. He looked at me like I lost it. He always does. But I knew what this meant. My thyroid was in function again. Day 13 through 14 was momentum building. By the end of week 2, I was playing longer, exercising longer, and I was having more fun. And I wasn't even needing to sit in between. My brain fog was lifting and I felt like myself again. And then came along week 3, the scary part. Week 3 was about proving that my body could handle normal food again. And I was scared crapless. For 2 weeks, I'd kept my carbs really low. Now it was time to slowly creep them back up and see if my body could handle them without freaking out. So what I added back, sweet potatoes or sweet potato fries with my dinner, berries with the opening of my lunch window, so like a smoothie with berries in it or something of the like. I even had oatmeal just a few times in there, and light on the rice with my meals for lunch and dinner. Y'all know I intermittent fast, so I don't start eating until about 12:30 and close it up by 8:30. Not all at once though. I added a thing at a time and tested my glucose, and that was because after eating I wanted to see how my body was responding. So strategy 1, eating carbs after protein. I always ate protein and fat first, then carbs. This actually slows down your digestion and it keeps the blood sugar from spiking. Strategy 2, stay active but not crazy. No intense workouts, just movement throughout the day. So playing with Hunter, walking around the neighborhood, catching a light jog or getting on my walking pad, light stretches, a little bit of lifting, and dancing in the kitchen or whenever I can while cooking. All these little movements add up without stressing your body. You're not supposed to be jumping over benches and jumping over hurdles and running and doing tuck flips. This ain't the time. Strategy 3 was walking after my meals. After my meals with carbs, when I was at my heavier size, I'd walk for about 10 to 15 minutes on my walking pad or even outside. This helps your muscles use up the glucose without using up a ton of insulin. Simple, but powerful. And the moment that everything changed, y'all, day 18, I woke up and my whole body felt warm. Not just my hands, everything. Like someone had turned the heater on inside of me. And again, I had to tell Sean, and when I told him, he was like, oh, okay, you warm. Thank you. But I knew what this meant. My metabolism wasn't just working, it was back in business. I tested my glucose after eating yogurt with berries or even oatmeal with berries. Foods that used to spike me 50 plus points. It only went up 22 points. Perfectly normal. And then I knew my body could probably handle carbs again. Now let's talk results, because I know y'all want to know. Honestly, that is. So weigh day 1. When I first started this, y'all, believe it or not, I was like 197 pounds. I was. Okay. Day 21, I got down to like 187-ish. I lost a lot. Okay. After having a baby and my body changing so much, and I was changing a lot in a little bit of time, I was happy to see the results. Morning glucose started at mid-90s, insulin resistant, and day 21, low 80s, sometimes high 70s, healthy. After meal spike started 40 to 60 points, body panicking. Day 21, 15 to 25 points, normal response. Body temperature around 96.8, metabolism barely working. To day 21, a normal 98.1, metabolism on and popping. Now about those function health results. Thyroid function dramatically improved. Stress hormones normalized. Inflammation cut nearly in half. Insulin sensitivity was way better. But here's what really mattered. I can play with my baby for a long time without sitting down. I can run without getting tired. And I was a marathoner before all of this. I had run a marathon and I was totally embarrassed that I could barely run 0.20 without feeling tired. I'm not freezing all the time. I don't even crash at 2 p.m. anymore. And I feel like myself again. And maybe some people can say it just takes time, but you gotta work. I'm sorry. I don't like when people say that because it discounts the work that some of us choose to put in. And that's okay. Not everyone has the time to or wants to. I get that. But it doesn't just change because time changes. You gotta figure the things out. And I'm eating anywhere between 1,800 and 2,000 calories now. Almost double where I started. And I'm still losing fat. Look at that. Because it was never about how much. It was about healing what was broken. Now here's what you need to know. Your morning blood sugar tells you everything. If it's consistently above 85 to 90, something's off. You don't need to panic, but you should pay attention. All of our bodies are different, absolutely, but check in with your doctor. This is something you can actually test at home. How your body responds to food matters more than the food itself. Test your glucose after eating. See what spikes it and what doesn't. Your body is unique to you. 3, healing takes time, but you'll feel it working. And I feel like one day I woke up and I just felt like my body was changing. It was really promising. It was really motivational. 21 days was just the start, but I felt the improvements in days. Warm hands by day 12, more energy by day 5. 4 is not just food. It's sleep, stress, movement. You can eat perfectly and still stay broken, especially if you're stressed and sleep deprived. So 5, get real data. Test, don't guess. Function Health actually gave me the proof that what I was doing was working. So what's next? I'm still going. This is a lifestyle now, not a diet. 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. My glucose is better than ever, and I'm still losing fat. Since January, I'm down 45 pounds with 10 to 15 more to go. Next up, I'm going to try and drop a what I eat type of video that helps you and assists you with this. Give me a few weeks and I'm going to put that together. And I make this work with a busy career, being a wife, and a mama, and so much more. And if this helped you, here's what I need. Comment below, where are you in your metabolism journey? Like this video if you want real science-backed content. 3, go ahead and check out Function Health. They're amazing. 4, subscribe so you don't miss any of the good and the follow-ups. I want you to know that your metabolism isn't permanently broken. It just needs the right conditions to heal. Stop guessing, start knowing, and own your health. Make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Dr. Nina signing out. Beautiful Brown Baby Doll. Peace.